And I'm going to start recording now what we're going to talk about. Every session on Tuesday will be recorded as far as content. What you see on the screen and what you hear me say will be recorded. That way, if you're for work have to miss, or you're sick and have to miss, whatever, it'll be recorded and posted within the hour after the class is over on Tuesday. And then again on Thursday when you guys come in, the handouts will be ready and we'll hit the lab running. A lot of times on Thursday, depending on the length of the lab, depends on how long we're going to be here. Class starts at 4:30. There's times we're out of here at 5. Done. Lab's done. Everybody finished it. We discussed it. We're done. I'm not going to keep you till 5:30 just because, schedule says so. And so your time is more valuable than that, I know. And so Tuesday, though, we generally use the whole time for discussion on content. So let's go and get started with the course. This is the Eagle site. Navigation-wise, I'm not going to read everything here, but I would recommend this first week going through the site, clicking on all the links, figuring out what's what. I will highlight a few things here, just so you know. The live chat feature is what it sounds like. I have it connected to my phone. If you need a question during the week on, say, whatever we're doing that next week, or you're doing a project that you might need help with, or you have a question about a computer issue or whatever it might be, you can click that live chat, and if I'm available, it'll tell you I'm available, and immediately come to my phone and I can answer your question. If I'm not available, just say I'm not connected. It'll say I'm not logged in. If I'm not logged in, I'd say email me, because I do check my email quite often. And so if you can't give me live chat, email me. That's how I generally work with communication. And those of you who have me before know I'm pretty quick with replying back to you. The other thing I'll mention on the top links here is a course discussion. That is for course and non-course related items both. So you can go in there and post about, say, hey, I'm getting ready to buy a new phone. Anybody have a suggestion or any good plans that you've gotten through Verizon, AT&T, or whatever? Or maybe I'm thinking about buying a new computer, whatever it might be. It could even be politics if you want to. Just kind of keep it all civil, though, and don't have any hate language in there. That'd be great. I'm going to kind of have you try to stay out of that as much as possible. I kind of hit it every once in a while just to see how it's going. But, you can go in there and check it out, once a day or once every other day or whatever, see if there's any new poster in there. And who knows, you might be able to help somebody, and you might be able to get help from fellow students on issues you're having, or computer issues you're having, or phone, or whatever it might be. Help, exclamation point. If you needed me to ever remote into your computer to help you for whatever reason, in this class, there's really not much of a need for that, but let's say it did happen. You needed help for whatever reason. You can schedule a time for me to help you. There's an app you can download from TeamViewer called TeamViewer, you might have heard of, that I use, that I can help you by remoting into your computer to help you. If you need to schedule a meeting, whether face-to-face or online, I do prefer online, so I'm not against that. But I am here on campus 4.5, 5 hours a week for office hours. So either one you can choose. On the online one, it's just a simple chat type of feature where I chat with you. But if I see that maybe I need to help you with your computer, I might set it up to where I can remote it in your computer and we can I can chat with you that way. And so on the schedule meeting link, it'll give you times and days I'm available. You just check a 15-minute time slot, and you're locked in. Snapchat, some of you might use that. We do try to do a story, the divisional story of what's going on. One of the things coming up, I know this Saturday we have Hour of Code coming up this Saturday, which it's a full class already, and it's a course we offer free to the community to come and learn about code for 1 hour, ages 6 to 90. We've literally had that age range in there. And it's about 20 every Saturday that shows up, the fourth Saturday every month. But if you want to help with that, any of you want to help or attend, it's full right now as far as attending it. But if you want to help as far as hand out flyers and handouts for the lesson that day, you can definitely pop in downstairs in 152 in the computer lab and just show up and say, I'm here to help. So if you'd like to do that, that's great. But that's one of the stories on Snapchat we posted recently. The other story is October 25th, which is a Tuesday, I believe. We're going to have a thing called Tech Expo, which is basically we'll have 4 local businesses speak about technology and careers in those technology fields. Then after they speak, and they're only going to speak for like 30 minutes in total, all 4 of them, they're going to be like 10 or 20 businesses in the student atrium that's going to be there to immediately talk to students like yourself about current internships, opportunities. And so we're hoping that students will get hired right on the spot for programming, networking, website design, all things geek related, whatever, right there in that night on Tech Expo. It's our first one. And techexpo.com is the website, if you want to remember that. And you can go there, and there is a way to register on techexpo.com for that event. I think right now we have about 80 people registered, believe it or not, already. We just started promoting it about a month ago. My goal originally was 75, and we already surpassed that. And so I'm hoping, well, probably more than likely, the way it's going, have about 120, 150, 200 people show up. And right now, the majority of people that have registered are public folks that are interested in Rock Valley, which is cool, I think. And so what that means is you guys that have a class on Tuesday night like this one, all the instructors at CIS, if you have a class on Tuesday, are going there. So we'll be there anyway, if you meet between 6 and 8. So if you have a class on Tuesday between 6 and 8, you will be going there. But I definitely encourage everybody to register for it. There is a couple cool giveaways. The first prize giveaway is 4 credit hours for whatever class you want to take in starting fall 2017. And so totally free, 4 credit hours. The second prize is an iPad mini. Cost-wise, they're about the same between the 4 credit hours and iPad mini. And then the third prize is going to be a multiple different things, like we're going to have like some USB thumb drive, car chargers for your mobile. We'll have a cool device I've been using for a while here. I'll show it to you. It's what it is it's a USB stick, right, which everybody has these. But this also serves as a Wi-Fi hotspot. So what's cool for is you can turn it on, place it on the table, and we can share documents back and forth between this device. It also connects to the available internet in the room. And so I would just send a link to everybody within the meeting, and then we can actually have basically our own virtual Dropbox, basically, secure within this stick that we can share files with. And so this will be one of the giveaways. It's a SanDisk. They run about $100, and so that'll be one of the giveaways too. So I was pretty pumped about the 4 credit hours. I asked about that because I heard we had done that in other things on campus. And I expected to be shot down, saying, no, we're not going to do that. And they said, oh, yeah, sure. And I was like, okay, great. I wrote it down and put it on the poster. And so register for that, techexpo.com, and tell other people about it. And it's Tuesday night, October 25th, 6 to 8. Textbook. I am writing a textbook for this course, not quite yet done with it. So we're going to use a textbook that I've been given permission to use for the course. It's right there, download textbook. I think it's the 5th or 6th edition of the book we normally use. So if you don't like that, though, you can buy that same version if you want to and pay the money to do it. Otherwise, you can just download that version and use it for this course. If you've never done a virtual textbook, I recommend trying it. I know it's a little difficult for some, maybe. Some, though, that's all they've ever done. I'm getting old enough now to where a lot of the students are like, yeah, that's all I read now is virtual textbooks, so it's no big deal. The nice thing about having an e-book, though, is the fact that it's yours. Once you download it, you put it on your device. You can mark it up. You can highlight it just like a regular book. And so, avail yourself to that. So all the chapter readings, chapter review questions will all come from that download PDF, okay? And you can save it to your tablet, to your phone, or view it on your computer if you want to. Probably wouldn't be too wise to view it from your phone, but laptop, tablet, definitely work fine, or desktop. So week 1, let's jump into that here. Review questions. I want to go over that real quick, and then you're done. Review questions and quiz. The review questions are at the end of the chapter, and all I need on the review questions is answer only. So most of them are multiple choice, but there might be one or two that are like essay questions, your own thoughts on something. But what I'd like you to do is, after you read the chapter, and you have till Sunday to do this, by the way, read the review questions at the end of the chapter, and because it's online, it's a PDF, you can actually search for keywords in the question to find the answer if you don't remember exactly where it's at, and that will help you tremendously. The other thing is a quiz, because this is taking forever here to log in. So review questions, I'm going to click on that real quick. Review questions is worth 20 points, and it's each week. This week is Chapter 1 stuff. Answers only, so like 1A, 2B, 3C, 4D, so on and so forth. On the quiz, you have up to 3 opportunities to take the quiz. Open book, and it is based on Chapter 1. And so that's what I need you to do here on the review question. What I always tell students on this one is, do the review questions off-site, like on your phone if you want to, or on your computer, on like Notepad. And then when you're done, just copy and paste them into the submission here. Because on that submission, it's text box entry, so you just copy and paste your stuff in there. But one thing I don't want you to do is, type it and then eagle timeout, and then you lose your questions and you have to start over again. Even though they told me that they do autosave that, but I just don't want to chance it. So I'd say do it off the grid. Then when you're done, paste it in there. That'd be great. On the quiz, this week has a few more questions than most weeks. I'll pull it up here. Most weeks are only going to have 10 questions. This one might have like 20 questions or something, or 22 questions. I can't remember. But anyway, it's all over Chapter 1. And again, you have 3. You get the highest score out of 3. And it must be 22 questions because it's 2 points apiece. 3 attempts. It's available, no time limit. But I would recommend reading the chapter before you do it, even though it's no time limit, because you're going to have to force yourself to go back into the text. And that's what open book actually does. Is if you haven't done the reading, you will do the reading to take the quiz. And so, anyway, questions on review questions or quiz. So between now and Thursday, at least skim Chapter 1. Kind of go over the highlights before class, because we're going to talk about Chapter 1 this Thursday. And then we will, next week, talk about Chapter 2 stuff on Tuesday. And then we're going to do our first lab next Thursday on the NT reset. Yes?
Is the general layout for the class, this week maybe be the exception, but it's kind of like a... read before you come to class
on Tuesday, right?
Something, and then the next class,
lab.
Thursday, it's a lab.
Correct.
So that'll be general.
Yes, always. Right. Tuesday is always going to be discussion over chapter stuff. This week's a little weird.
Sure.
We're doing it on Thursday.
Okay.
And then next Tuesday, we'll be covering Chapter 2 stuff.
So we won't have a lab for Chapter 1?
No,
okay.
You won't have a lab for Chapter 1. It's introductory stuff.
Oh, okay.
So, but next Thursday will be our first lab. And that's the one I'll remind you, though, that to bring your 3-ring binder, because you will be getting a CD with that one and your handout for the lab.
Okay.
So, yeah, good question. Any other questions? Before you leave today, just do this, because these we log in a little different everywhere else on campus. There's benefits to that, and there's non-benefits to that, negatives and positives. But the positive is you get to do what we want. We're off the grid. Here in this classroom, in the Cisco room, we can do whatever we want basically on the network, right? That you can't do anywhere else on campus. And as you can imagine, as we go out through the semester, when we're trying to do hack type of events, it would cause red flags anywhere on campus. But here, it doesn't, because we're off the grid. So that's a benefit. The negative is, though, it'll save everything you do on these browsers, usually, or on the computer. So don't save your passwords. I have students do this. Don't save your passwords. If it asks you, say no always. That's just a general rule anywhere, anytime. But don't save your passwords. Always log off of your Eagle account, because if people have your Eagle account, not saying they would do this, but they could, They could use your email to send a nasty email to the president and you get arrested. I don't know. That's happened before on campuses before. Not here, but it's happened at other campuses. And so make sure you log off your email, log off of anything that's important, and shut it down. Shut down your Windows browsers. And then also just one last safety thing is just restart your computer. So if you hit the start button on your computer, it'll just restart it. That would be awesome if you could do that. We try to keep these logged in or kept on Tuesday. On Thursday, more than likely, I'll have you guys shut down, but on Tuesday I won't. So I'll just have you restart. Okay, so I look forward to a great semester. If you have any questions about anything, or if you didn't check in, if you came in a little late or the last minute here, you can come in and check in before you leave tonight, because we will be checking in every time at the beginning of class. All right, see you Thursday. Adults do when they go to college, like yourself, is when podcasting first came out in classes of 300, which is normal for university level computer classes, they would just write down a time. So when the instructor was talking about a certain concept they really need to learn for his test, instead of writing down the concepts on paper, they would just write down 29 and know when they went back to their dorm, forward fast a podcast 29 minutes in, and then they're going to know that content that they need for the quiz that tomorrow or whatever. So it changed the culture of learning, because everybody has some mobile device that you listen to music with already, you watch movies with already, and so instead of that, they would just listen to a podcast in between classes of the schedule for the course coming up, a quiz or whatever. They listen to a podcast in between classes to get them ready for the quiz. So some of you aren't used to that, and so I'm hoping to get you kind of, and a lot of professors don't use it here. We have about 14 professors that use podcasting on campus, which isn't a lot, but we've been using it since 2006. I kind of train them to help them get started. And you would think podcasting would be the instructors coming right out of college would want to do it. No. The ones that want to do it are actually older than I am. In their 50s and 60s are into podcasting. They really enjoy it. And the reason they enjoy it is it benefits the students. Because as an instructor, and you might have done this if you taught people before too on anything, the same questions come up over and over again every semester on the same concepts, right? Well, instead of having to call an office hour, set down a show, which I've done over the years, now I can create a podcast of that issue or that problem, explain it, and now it's out there forever in posterity's sake on iTunes U for students to access. Even further, it reaches beyond the campus. A story I'll share, I teach PHP, right, which is a web developing language, and I had an email from a guy from Soviet Ukraine on a Saturday morning. I got an email from him, and I thought first it was a spoofed email or something, some type of malware or something they're trying me to download. It's a weird last name, weirder than Conkle. And so, anyway, ended up being a farmer from Soviet Ukraine, had 5 kids. He had watched all of my podcasts on iTunes U because I offered Apple has this thing where you can create a course online for people to take at no cost. I had like 16,000 students one year for just that course that were taking it. And I never really, it was self-paced, so I didn't have to answer any questions. It was all self-paced. They could just do whatever they wanted to do. This guy went through all the material, right, and wanted more help. He wanted more stuff. He wanted to learn more. He goes, I can't go to college. I can't afford it. I have 5 kids, but is there anything you can give me? So I gave him some more stuff, and we were in conversation about the next 2 or 3 months on and off. But it hit me like I never thought that anything I would do, not much less, reach students here, but reach somebody in Soviet Ukraine. So, and that was pretty eye-opening to me, that it could reach somebody across the world like that. And so that's kind of what iTunes U does. And again, it's kind of a hidden secret. I think Apple really doesn't. If you go to Apple's website, you can find it easily. It's on their website, but they don't really promote it much. A lot of students have never heard it before, and I mention it. And so it's a great tool to use not only for this course, but definitely for other harder courses than this, for sure, that's on campus, that you can get help from other podcasts, video and audio podcasts alike. And, if you guys find a cool podcast, by the way, after you subscribe to mine, I always tell students, hey, subscribe to some other courses that you're interested in, whether you're taking it here or maybe you want to take it. Because I always tell students, You can use iTunes U as a clearinghouse for what course you want to take in the future. You say, well, I'm going to kind of go down a business route. Okay, subscribe to some business courses on iTunes U. You'll find out real quick after listening to a semester's worth of podcast if you want to go into business, right? Same thing with any other course, right, or any other vein of college major. So it's really a free way to do things and save you money because you can spend a semester or two and realize, which can happen in college, you're going to switch your major. That happens. This might help you a little bit on saving you from doing that maybe. So iTunes U. The other thing iTunes has is just general podcast. If you're into anything technology-wise, like you like gadgets, so how many likes drones? Anybody like drones? You're into that? Any into type of board game, any type of board games, or any type of let's talk about autonomous driving. Into that, autonomous driving, just self-driven car. Into that, they have podcasts on that. All your favorite bands and artists have their own podcast. And there's tons of tech shows out there that's totally free to use. One of the ones I recommend to students always is Leo Laporte. He's been out for years and years and years and years, Leo has. In fact, I met him in San Francisco about 5 years ago. And it was cool to meet him because he's one of these guys that I listened to all my life in technology. And I met him in Macworld in 2000 and I think it was 12, I think, when I went. Nicest guy in the world, but he has like 4 or 5 podcasts he puts on a week, something like that. That's all he does. He talks about the newest things in tech, right? The newest trends, what's going on. And so I like to listen to him and a couple other ones that are out, and that's it, every week. He kind of keeps me up to date on all the new stuff coming out, new apps, new things that is coming out in technology. So you can search for podcasts on any venue that you like, subscribe to it, and then once you subscribe to it, you're done. You don't have to you don't have to subscribe more than once. And then it downloads it to your device automatically and saves it for you to watch later. Let's talk about social media. Follow me on Professor Geek on Twitter for just if there's any new jobs posting, you'll get alerted on that. Events alerted on that. Every once in a while I do a free giveaway. I did one yesterday. I think I had 2 or 3 students submit a picture. I think it was Monday. I said, submit a picture of your first day in class, and you can win a free USB car charger. This kid posted one in like 2 seconds. I'm like, okay, I just posted it. And so he got it. He was the first one out of the chute. But every once in a while I'll do like a free giveaway like that to people. And he doesn't even take any CIS courses. And so hopefully he will now. And then the other is CIS RVC, which is our handle for our division. We also post news there on jobs, events, things of that nature. And then Professor Geek on Snapchat will get you the stories, which everybody's doing now. Maybe you do stories yourself of your day and what's going on. I have students, so it's kind of interesting watching her story. The one that's a mom of 5, she does stories of things that she cooks. Every week she's a big into cooking different cool dishes, and she posts these dishes that she's cooked through the week. And so do that. You can follow yourself to that. Also, Periscope, you might have heard of that, or maybe not heard of that. It's owned by Twitter. It's a live video feed app for Droid and iOS that we use. We're going to start using in a couple weeks. On Tuesday, I meet in here for 15 minutes from 3:30 to 3:45 with local professors here on campus, business owners here in Rockford region, students, and just interview them on things of the day, tech of the day, find out a little bit about them, hobbies that they like, things like that. And students can ask questions while they're connected. And it is recorded. And so Periscope, there's a link there of how to connect to Periscope and to download it and follow me on that as well. Next, going to the next screen, which I think is a poll screen. Should be. Polls are kind of cool, and I like to do poll the first night of class because what it does is kind of sees where you're at, where your head's at as far as why you're here, things like that. But also, I just like polls. I think polls kind of cool. It's an anonymous way, but this one's not anonymous because I know everybody's name. Have you log in with your SSID, your student ID. But anyway, it's a way for you to kind of post your opinions on things and things of that nature. So if you'll go to that website on your phone or on your computer, either one will work. It's m.socrative.com, M as in Mary, .socrative.com. I'll blow it up a little bit more there. The room number or the room name is pct130, and it should force it in all caps, I believe, when you type it in. And then it should ask you for your student ID to enter that in, and it's going to be numbers only.
Yes.
Numbers only on the student ID. No letter S. Numbers only. As soon as you put your numbers only 7-digit ID in there, it should ask you your first question of like, what name do you go by or something, I think, something like that. If it doesn't ask you that yet, give me a second and I'll turn it on. Does everybody have that information there written down, or you've got it on your screen already? All right, cool. Let me go to the next screen because this is where I have to start the poll. These are a lot of fun because they do give you insight to where everybody's at. It's kind of cool. And by the way, this app that I'm using, Socrative, it's created from math and science teachers in New York. Started out to give teachers, a way to give quizzes easily and polls easily. So I really like it. Works out really well. Okay. So you should now be getting the ability to hopefully answer the question, name you go by. And we have a whole bunch of Jacob, Liam, Tanner, Amy, Lisa, Josh. And so as people add their question, it tells me how many's responded. When we get to 11 to 11, we're done. So there's everybody's name there. So Tevin, Edgar, Matt, apologize if I mispronounced your name. Sergey, is that right? Sergey? All right. Did I pronounce it right? Sergey? Jared, Jacob, Liam, Tanner, Amy, Lisa, and Josh. And then when I get next, it should give you the next question here in a second. Have you or someone you've known been a victim of identity theft? And what's cool as you're answering that, you'll actually see a live. This one is you're not going to know who's answering what here, and so this one is anonymous. All the questions are anonymous as far as visually what everybody's seeing. So most of you have either yourself or somebody you know have been a victim of identity theft. I have. I've been a victim of identity theft. It's not fun. It's pretty scary. And so yeah.
My student ID didn't work. Is there a chance?
Oh, it didn't. Is it a 7-digit? Start with a zero, just zero only? Start with
zero?
Start with zero. It should be 7 digits in total. So some are 6. Is it 7 in total though? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah. Get with me before class is over or before you leave and we'll fix it, make sure you got the right ID. So yeah, that's one of the reasons right there for security right there. And why security is so important in this world, in the world that we live in. And not just in Rockford, but everywhere you go. It doesn't matter, the most remotest village that you would think wouldn't have an issue, does. They are affected by network security. And so number one theft in the world is identity theft. And we'll talk about ways you can secure yourself from that. There's not 100% on anything, but you can make things a little better and more secure. All right, so what interests you about network security? We've got hardware security, software security, how hackers do stuff so I can stop them. So far, C's winning out. How hackers do stuff so I can stop them. So keep answering that. When we get up to the 12 number we have now, we'll go on. In second place, we have software security. In third place, we have hardware security. And the winner is how hackers do stuff so I can stop them. Second, software security, and third is hardware security. All three are important for IT folks in security to know. In any sector of IT you go into, you're going to be dealing with all three of them for sure. The third ones are C is probably the most interesting because it's prevalent in our society today with Anonymous, a hacker group, and maybe hackers you've heard of in the news, and just some of the things that go on that you hear in the news. You wonder why they do things, and we'll learn about that this semester, and maybe more importantly, how to stop them is stop them happening on your network anyway. Talk about that, how to harden your network to where things don't happen. Next question. Do you work or have you worked in an IT department? So majority of you thus far, no, you haven't. Some of you have. So either way, whether you have or haven't, this is an introduction course to network security. I've had students take this course, have been in IT for 20 years, and still learn some things, learn one or two things maybe before they leave. And so, and myself including, learn things because at the end of the semester I have you guys create we'll talk more about next week, a final presentation, final paper and presentation, where you get to present on a topic of your choice that has to do with network security. And every semester I learn something new or something latest and greatest that students bring out in their report that's eye-opening and learn something. So in this field, in IT in general, you're always learning. I go on average 2 to 5 training updates a year in the fields that I work in. And I could probably even go to more. I mean, I just don't have time. But, you're constantly learning. Things are constantly changing, and you're always learning in IT and in network security. Next question. Good results so far. Are you interested in an internship? And this is one reason I wanted your IDs, by the way. Are you interested in an internship or a part-time networking job? Either one or both. You can put down yes, no, or maybe. If you put down yes or maybe, I will be contacting you and putting you on the, finding out what you're interested in. And that way when jobs come across my desk, which I do, just like the one I just posted Monday, you'll be connected first before I post them on the web. The students have told me they're interested. I contact them first before I post them. So that way you get the first opportunity to take a stab at that internship or whatever. The positive thing about Rockford region is most internships are paid. Like my PHP students, they get paid anywhere from $15 to $20 an hour to work at a local firm for programming. Networking students on average here, like Entree is a good example. They pay students anywhere from $10 to $15 an hour, which is a good pay for this area. Ingersoll's another one that pays well in their internship. Fat Wallet, yes.
Just out of curiosity, how long do those usually run for?
A semester. Yep. And they can last longer too. Like an example, the way it works with Lions, PHP firm, even Entree does this as well. If, at the end of the time, if you like them, they like you, a lot of students get offered full-time jobs at that point. Like Ingersoll, a student was hired there as an intern initially, right? He was in this class, actually, and I thought he would do good at it. He didn't think he would, and I encouraged him to apply. He did. He went through like 5 interviews for this internship, got it. And at the end of the semester, he was going on to NIU after he graduated here. At the end of the semester, they offered him a full-time job in lieu of him working in tandem with him going to NIU. So he did NIU, plus they worked around his schedule at NIU and paid him full-time at Ingersoll. It's awesome. And he learned so much, too. I mean, he learned alongside Ingersoll, another hidden secret in Rockford region, has tons of mathematicians. And they do projects that are kind of secret, quasi-government projects. Like the one that he was working on was a satellite. It's the largest satellite in the world that was shipped into Maui, the island of Maui, into almost 1 million pieces It was taken and boxed up here and shipped to Maui. Anyway, he worked with folks, mathematicians and scientists to put that together. He was kind of, doing little scripts, things like that. One of the stories he shared was there was a hard drive or something that they needed to fix or repair. Well, he didn't know anything about it, and he thought, "Where's the manual at?" And the guy goes, "Let me go get the guy that created it." Okay, so he went and got the guy. He came in a room, and he spent the next 2 weeks explaining this hard drive he created and how it worked and how to fix it. That was awesome. So that's the kind of stuff he did. And he didn't take a course on that here on campus. He learned it on hands-on. And he was like, yeah.
And they'll let you just get an internship or anything, even if you have no experience?
Exactly. He had programming experience, right, when he got hired there, right? Because they were wanting a student that has some programming experience or background in school. But all this other stuff I just mentioned, he had no experience in. And they kind of just, whatever they needed, they put him in there and he learned it, just project-based learning. So that's a really good example of internships. And so one of my passions, as you can probably tell, is not just teaching here at Rockville, which I do love doing. This is going on my 17th year, but getting students connected to a job that they love and that provides for them and their family. To me, that is the most rewarding thing as an instructor here, is to do that. To see kids that have graduated here or maybe taken a course or two here, and I had the opportunity to help connect them with a local employer. And then see them years later with kids in a restaurant, which happens now all the time. I can't go anywhere. My wife said, "You can't go anywhere if a student of yours doesn't know you or, hasn't been to your class, whether high school or college." But it is rewarding, I think, to have, for me anyway, you can't pay me enough. I could do other things and make more money, I know, besides teaching. Teaching I don't get paid a lot. I get, paid a decent wage, but I could do other things and get paid more money. But to me, that's what really drives me, I guess, is connecting you guys to a job. So that's encouraging to see 83%. Well, really, if we put them all together, 100% of you want either a part-time, full-time, or internship job. So that's great. I'll be contacting you on that, find out more information. Okay, next question. Why are you taking the course? So we have a few options here. Graduate requirement, hobby, increase my knowledge, get a job, other. A's winning out so far. Graduate requirement, increase knowledge, get jobs, number 3. I like this poll because you kind of see it live, how it's going as people vote. It's really cool when you have like 100 people doing it, because it really dramatically changes a lot of times. When this first came out, you could only do, I think you could do 50. Now the account lets you do 150. So I've actually used it in bigger groups, and it's really cool to see that. So 12 out of 12 is submitted here, is neck to neck here, but increased knowledge of security won out. And then tied was graduate requirement, getting a job, and then other was out there 6%. What's your favorite food? And I am going to show you names on this too, by the way, so forgive me. So somebody gets some interesting foods in here usually. Okay, Josh, I'm going to pick on Joshua here. You go by Josh?
Yeah.
Where's Josh? Josh? Okay, pork adobo, what is that?
Pork adobo.
Yeah.
It's a Filipino food.
Filipino food, okay.
It's basically vinegar, soy sauce, and usually a meat.
Oh, it sounds good.
Chicken, and
Yeah.
you boil it.
Real tender?
Yep. And
Oh.
then you pour it over white rice.
Sounds great, sounds great. Hadn't heard of that before, let's try that. Everything else I have heard of. So we have a montage here of, let's see, we got some steak people, sushi people. Who's my sushi people? Edgar, Tevin, and Jacob? Okay, awesome. Have you guys been to the place up there, you know where Jimmy John's is on Perryville? You know where that's at, in that little shopping center there? Right next to Jimmy John's, there's a, yeah, and they have for $20, I forgot what night it is, maybe it's every day, I don't know. $20, $25, it's all you can eat sushi.
I've been there, but I never even knew they had had a sushi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
My
had a lot.
a daughter brought me there about 6 months ago, and it's really good. Really good
What is
sushi.
it?
Golden
Yeah.
something. It's Golden something. I don't remember the name of the restaurant, but it's right next to Jimmy John's. Yeah, on Perryville. You know where I think there's Kobe Mexican place, Starbucks, Jimmy John's is in that same shopping center, and it's Perryville. And I'm trying to think. You know where Woodman's is?
Oh, so it's up further.
It's up in it's like literally if you go up Spring Creek here, Springbrook, and take a right, and then take your first left on that stoplight. It's that shopping center on our left. It's Golden something, I think. But anyway, it's $20 all you can eat sushi. It's awesome.
I don't know. I don't feel like I get my money's worth.
Oh yeah.
No, I would.
You
I would
wouldn't?
stop after a
You
little
would.
while.
Yeah, I actually I did pretty good. But if you like sushi, and they make it. Right there, fresh, everything that you want. So that's really nice. So, all right. Now I want to go eat sushi.
Yeah.
So, okay. If you've never tried sushi, my wife doesn't like sushi, but she's actually never tried sushi. So I always tell people, at least try, start out with a California or something. California would be a good one to start out with. All right, so here we go. Have you successfully logged into RBC Eagle and accessed pct130?
Well, we're here.
Hopefully everything's here. Everyone says yes. If not, that's why I asked the question. And that is the last question because there's no next button. So hopefully that was pretty painless for everybody. But guess what? That's the end. That's it. And so this Thursday, I would like you to do between now and Thursday to read chapter 1 in the textbook that you have to download if you haven't already downloaded it. Read chapter 1. I do want to go over a couple